Hey guys, what is going on? I've got another product review to do for you. TideWe recently reached out to me to do a review of their blind. And with youth turkey season coming up real fast, I've got my youngest daughter wanting to go, so I figured this would be a perfect opportunity to show you one of their new products. And I really liked their backpack and their blind chair, which the blind chair is going to go into this blind. So let's set it up. I'm sure I'm going to like it, but let's take a peek at it. And now with it popped up, I'll take you around and take a look at it. It's got a pretty good camo pattern, and it's got loops around the edges for blinding it in, you know, putting limbs and all that around it so you can really camouflage it in. It is 66 inches tall, so 5'6". So this blind actually has two pretty cool, unique features. And the first one, it is that this, well, actually, I'm going to reveal the second one when I open this flap, but this door is actually magnetic. So it is not going to have any loud zippers or Velcro, anything like that. And as you can see, the other key feature of this is that that front wall is completely see-through. You can see out, but nothing can see in, as long as you have that black backdrop. So like I said, I really like this magnetic door because it's got a very nice tactile, like you can tell when it hits home. As much as I like it though, I wish it had some more. I wish, you know, there's some loose flaps here that I think could do with some more magnets. It still shuts perfectly fine. It's not a big deal, it holds. So, but I really like that. You don't have to hear that loud, just ripping Velcro sound. And another thing to think about with this door is actually a little small, and it's just a product of the height of the blind itself. If you've got all your gear on, I'm not a big guy by any means, but if you've got all your gear on, or if you are a big guy, you're gonna have to really pay attention as you're getting in here. Take your gear off, throw it in the blind, then get in there, and then set your stuff out before you climb out of the blind. Again, it's not a big deal. It's just something you got to think about as you're trying to move stealthily into your blind. But let's get inside. Actually, I'm going to get this into the spot it's going to go to, and then we'll climb inside and we'll kind of talk about more of the features. So now here we are on the inside of the blind, and as you can see, it's fairly roomy. It is 58 by 58 at the feet, and then it is 75 by 75 at the hub. So there's plenty of room to move around. It's not the biggest, but it's also not the smallest either. Here in a bit, I will break out my bow so you can see it full draw if I'm going to stick out at all. And then I've also got my shotgun and a tripod stand that my daughter's going to use. She's not going to use the exact same shotgun. She'll be using a Youth 20 gauge, but you'll be able to tell if my barrel is going to be sticking out the front of the blind. And another feature of this blind is, as you can see, even the windows have that see-through mesh that, you know, you can see out, but you can't see in. And then I think it's pretty standard on most blinds now, but it's a sliding track here instead of like Velcro or snaps or something like that. So you can just position it exactly how you want it, just enough of an opening to see out, so that way you're not giving whatever's out there a huge view of the interior. One thing I'm not quite sure of, and I'll get my camera tripod out of the way, these windows here, they're on both sides of this, and then you've got the larger one out front. I'm not quite sure. I mean, they're a little low for anything. I mean, for me, maybe kids, or if you're on an elevated platform, you'll be able to, you know, shoot down a little bit. I don't think I'll use them. I think what I'll end up doing is probably rotating this a little bit, because I like having the, you know, the wide windows here. Unfortunately, it's not the see-through on this side, so you'll have this over here. I don't think it'll be a big deal. I may just leave it like this, to be honest, if you're able to see, but I'd prefer to have all of these windows all the way around rather than this, you know, little 3-window setup. Okay, so now I will see how much room I've got to draw here. It's actually up against, I mean, it's almost touching the top here, but I've got a pretty long bow. This is a prime rival. It's about 4 or 5 inches at my elbow. I mean, I can pretty much move, and this is why I like the long windows rather than the this one triangle, because if you got that set up right, you don't have to reposition. So if I want to shoot off to my right, I'm going to have to sit more on the left side of the blind, and that kind of changes things for me. But if you've just got, if you're turkey hunting especially, you got your decoys out there, those birds are going to come to, most likely, come to that decoy. It's not that big a deal. Or you just wait till the deer comes into your shooting window. You don't really have to move. We know how deer and turkeys go. They don't always do what we what we want them to do. So then now we'll set up this Caldwell shooting pod here. These shooter's pods are great for kids because it's going to hold it up at the ready. They don't have to support the weight of it. It's already pretty well level where it needs to be. Eliminates a lot of that sway that they're going to have to deal with. They're great. I think they work for crossbows too if your kids are crossbow hunting. I'll leave a link down in the description of this as well. In order for me to not have my rifle or the shotgun outside, I got to scoot back. Let me turn the camera. Angle you all down just a little bit if I can. Okay. So it is right at the edge. If I shift around, I mean, I can get up on it and my barrel's not out of the blind, but it's right there at the edge. Like if I shot right now, my barrel would blow the front of this window out. So that's another reason why I don't really like this triangle thing. Hopefully TideWe doesn't get too mad at me for poo-pooing on their window setup here. There, I moved it up a little bit, but it's sitting on top of the foregrip of the shotgun. I don't know, like I said, I'll probably end up rotating around and it'll be perfectly fine. It's not gonna be a big deal, but just keep that in mind as you're looking at this blind. I do believe they've got these windows all the way around, but I'll have to double check. So one thing real quick, I want to demonstrate if you can see any movement at all through this mesh. I've always wondered, there's got to be something you can see through there, because if you can see out, and the only reason that you can see out are these little holes here. So you'd think, in theory, something should be able to see in, right? So let's go in here. I'm going to close all the windows, move around a whole bunch, and we'll see if you can see anything. All right, so let's close this window up. So I'm moving around a whole bunch.
We can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind.
I just watched the footage back and I'm very impressed. You can't see anything in here. I know when that technology first kind of came out, everybody's very skeptical of it. I never even considered buying one because I just thought there's no way, something's got to be able to see you moving in there. And as you can see in the video, you can't see anything. So I'm going to get this thing rotated around to that long window, like I said, get it staked down, and I'm going to get myself and Zoe ready for youth season. So that was my first impressions of the TideWe hunting blind. I think for the price point, it's going to be very hard to beat. I'm going to leave a link to it down in the description below if you want to check it out. And if you do want to buy one, make sure you use code IO18 so you can get 18% off your order. And as always, hit that like button if you like this video, share it if you found it helpful, and make sure that you are subscribed so you can stay informed.